My name is Will Cord and I'm the host of Ready, Set, Renovate. Our podcast is produced in the upstate of South Carolina where I happen to live and our business, Daniel Builders, is located. Ready, Set, Renovate is dedicated to making home renovations a delightful and drama-free process. Drama is fun when it's on HGTV, but not so much fun when your own home is at stake. We discuss real-life home renovations and all they entail while equipping you to edit out the renovation craziness. Along the way, we pack in some inspiration for your own home. Welcome to Ready, Set, Renovate. On this episode, we're talking with Brandon Hurtado. Brandon is one of Daniel Builders' finest. He's a design project manager with our team, and he helps clients determine what the scope of work is going to be and visualize what the outcome will look like before the project even gets going. It's a very important work he does, a very important role at Daniel Builders. So let's get to it. Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this role.
I started working in construction when I was 14, family friend. I'm from Washington State. His house caught on fire, propane tank exploded. He was a general contractor, so he was able to kind of do the work himself through the insurance, and he kind of had me come along and work alongside him and kind of started teaching me all the little things, and it just snowballed from there up into this thing. And worked for a couple other companies in Washington State, and then moved over here to South Carolina, worked for somebody down in Columbia, and now here I am in Greenville.
And now on the design side, you're working with architects, interior designers.
That's right.
Getting permitting, I think.
Trying.
Yeah, that could be a challenge sometimes. So as far as what you do as a design PM, and not everybody may be familiar with that phrase, a project manager of design.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what that entails, what you do for the client through the remodeling process.
So my role as a design project manager is coordinating all the moving parts in the design phase to make sure it stays streamlined and organized so the clients can have a good experience. Our team will get multiple schemes drawn up. After they've chosen their schemes, they can see the space as it's going to sit from a bird's eye view above, and that's going to be based off of, creativity from the architecture team mixed with what they have told us that they like and how they want their space to function.
So you're spelling out the whole project.
That's right.
As best you can for the client. Sounds like there's a lot of details to pull together and a lot of people to pull together to create a good design. Well, you have a background in carpentry, which I'm sure serves you pretty well in this role.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how that overlaps?
With Daniel Builders in particular, I was a carpenter for 2 years. On the carpentry staff. So it definitely plays a big role, and I think, again, kind of how in the design process we have the build team kind of look over everything. That allows me to kind of do that on my own before we even get to that point, to think through a lot of this stuff, from the point of drawings all the way through to the end. Okay, as I'm putting together this, as I'm measuring out for linear footage of trim, understanding the process, how it's going to go together in the field, so that I can put it together in an organized manner in design.
Clarifying expectations is a big part of the remodeling process, and that's something that you do routinely with clients. Tell us a little bit about how that happens.
Well, one thing we do is we have various meetings throughout our process, and the purpose of those is to make sure that we capture any questions and like you said, manage those expectations by laying out the entire process before we actually make any kind of headroom. We have a meeting with a whole team where our architecture team, myself, our guide design director, we all go out there and we sit down and we get into the details of their project, and that allows us to clarify anything through the process.
So essentially they're seeing what they're getting without having a finished product to look at. That's kind of the goal, right?
That's right. If you don't have a clear plan of what the end goal is, then you're kind of just floundering the whole time during construction. So the benefit of design is we have this plan. Now, I'm not saying we don't ever make mistakes, because we do, but you have this roadmap, and we have this entire scope of work that's very detailed down to the linear foot of trim, square footed drywall, tile, any hardwood, anything like that. It's all down to the square foot. It's listed out, and everyone sees it. Our build team, the homeowners get it and everything, so everyone knows what is happening.
When the build team is looking at it, are you receiving feedback from them as well? Because these are the guys that are actually going to be building it.
Absolutely. So we have a meeting before anything is finalized with the director of build, and he gets to kind of look over the process with us along with the project manager that would be taking the job, and we kind of go over everything as if I would go over to with the homeowner, and they get to see the roadmap, and they make comments and, hey, did you think about this? We need to make sure we keep that into account.
Sure, so that gives a lot of helpful insight.
It really does, yeah.
Would you say that for every project, an architect and an interior designer are necessary, or when do you know they're really necessary, and when are they more a luxury?
I would say they're more a luxury in the sense of it's personality based. If you know what you want and you don't need any help picking out stuff because you know yourself and you're happy to visit showrooms, or you have it already, there's not necessarily a need for a designer if you're able to do that on your own. It is super necessary if you're not quite sure what you want, you're unsure of how you want the space to flow, you have ideas but you're just not sure. The benefit of having an architect to do the drawings, an interior designer to help you pick selections and design the space around it is invaluable.
Yeah.
Invaluable.
Well, I'm sure you have cases where people think they know, but they really don't, and an architect helps them to realize what they don't know.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of technicalities within the building process, things that you can't do, whether it's code or it's just that's not the way the process works. Those kinds of things it's beneficial to have that because you can highlight that kind of thing. Or even if you're kind of held in by a budget, hey, I just want to let you know it costs a lot of money to move in a load-bearing wall, and that's not something you want to just kind of flippantly throw around.
Can you give an example of where some client may have come in and they thought they understood a lot of the process, but through the course of design, you were able to educate them and help them see, hey, there's a lot more to this than initially meets the eye?
There is one that comes to mind, actually. Not to say that they thought they necessarily knew the process, but they didn't realize how in-depth it was. And I mean, we had a 2-hour cabinetry meeting scheduled that turned into a 4-hour cabinetry meeting because...
And that's just cabinetry.
And that's just cabinetry because there's so many options and you don't know what you don't know. And that's just the way it is, and that's what we're here for, is to help. And
that's a great example. Just one part.
Just one part.
The cabinetry.
Yeah.
What are the big, you mentioned cabinetry, what are the big cost drivers when it comes to a remodel?
Cabinetry is going to be one. If you're taking the walls down, trying to reroute and open things up or close things off, like I mentioned before, load-bearing walls are incredibly expensive to replace because they're integral to the structural integrity of your home.
When you're going through the process of designing and the client's making decisions that impact the overall cost, are you frequently having cost conversations?
Yeah, every Friday I'm sending out an email to my clients, and as quotes come in, as prices come in, and they select things, I'm hey, just want to let you know this came back at this price. Are you okay with that? If it's something that's going to be more impactful to their budget than originally anticipated, I want to let them know so that they have the opportunity to scale back, or just make different decisions or whatever.
Which is something we'd all want to know instead of being sticker shocked at the very end. Hey, we went through this whole process and I had no idea it's going to cost this amount. And, and you're giving them updates as they're making decisions.
Yeah.
Tell us what the most rewarding part, Brandon, for you as a design PM is.
So I'm a people person.
I can see that.
I love talking to people. I love just, relationships. For like a 6-month period, I worked at a restaurant, and it was a lot of fun just talking to the people. That was my favorite part. So as a carpenter, you're around your coworkers and stuff, and they're great. But then here, I get to meet all these new people on a regular basis. And it's a big deal because they're coming to us for their home.
Right.
Which is
a very precious thing to them.
Yeah, that's right. To welcome us in and to want to build that client, build a relationship is a very big deal.
Well, it's plain to see you're good at it, and I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, talk to our audience. Are you interested in remodeling your home? Well, reach out to us at danielbuilders.com and we can help you get that process started.